r/Nosleep. Posted by u/ForestHasEyes. I'm a security guard hired to protect an estate, the forest has eyes. Part 3. That fucking skeleton. Of all the people to see out here, at this time. Stupid bastard made me nearly jump out of my skin, but likewise. If he wanted to get the jump on me, he could have very well have just grabbed a rock. I mean, he wasn't there before, and here he was, no noise, out of the blue. "Hey Tim," I said, going back to inspect the hat. "Nerk." I still didn't know who was initiating this puppet, still refused to believe it was a living fucking object. But he obviously wasn't hostile, so I decided to play along. I held up the hat by its visor. "Know what this is, Tim?" Silence. "What, was this some dude?" Look at me and we talk kind of bull. Inspected the hat further, found something written on the back. "Omen Nark." I gazed up at my eggshell-colored friend. "What? Omen?" I looked back in the hat to see what I was looking at. On the inside of the back, written in permanent marker, "Danny." Showed the back to Tim. "Know a Danny, by chance?" Once again, I was met by stone silence. Brilliant. Found an ominous omen, of a child's hat with a name, and yet the only person I can ask right now is playing peekaboo 20 questions. Fucking perfect, no signs of life, hair. Nothing. Almost like him. My face shot up to meet Tim's grassman. Grassman? Forgetting how he finally directly spoke to me, what was? Grassman? No leaves on the hat as I looked. And, there was grass everywhere, literally. It's a forest. But none on the hat, not a drop of filth at all. Who's Grassman? Tim once again answered with silence. Oh great. Back to tiddlywinks. Fuck this. Placed the hat in the pocket of my coat and hopped on the ATV. Thanks Tim. I turned back to the skeleton, and despite me now thinking my sanity was slipping, I said, "Sorry for cracking you on the skull." I stopped. "Ha, that's funny, 'cause you're a skelly." I looked back again. Tim was gone. Of course. The drive back was quiet. Thank God. Between something always poking its creepy fucking head around a tree, and sneaking up, having some peace and quiet was good. That was. Until I reached the front gate. "Look man, I can't let you in. Wait till Dwight gets back and I'll help you." "Wait till, who?" "Look, there's goddamn ghouls out here man. Let me in." The same guy before, talking to John through the intercom's voice receiver. His Bostonian accent was more apparent when he yelled. "Just wait Theo, here's Dwight now." I parked the ATV center of the driveway in front of the gate. The man turned. He snapped his fingers, trying to find my name although I never told him. "Dwight. Dwight. That's it, sure it is. Thought I told you to head down the road." "Come on Mon. It's getting dark, and it's fucking spooky out here. Can I stay for the night?" My next look read, "Are you actually kidding me?" The guy's face didn't read any real danger. When you work the job I've worked as long, you can read a person's face. He was just short of me, probably 5'10ish, looked like a Minnesota trucker decided to go play Spetsnaz. But seemed genuine. Finally I agreed with a sigh, "I'll talk to my boss. You can stay for the night. But you're to stay inside of me, at all times." The guy sighed with relief, and this is when I could read the genuineness in his relief. Just eliminating any doubts about him. Finally got the time to sit down and talk with him. His name's Isaac, was a truck driver, knew it, lived in the New England area, knew it, and had his truck break down in fucking Texas after a long haul. Decided to take up camping a few miles away while it was getting fixed. Turns out he'd been bumping around 3 states worth of forest before he found me. "Texas?" I asked in disbelief, swiveling slightly on the security room's computer chair. "Yee," he said, sitting in the corner, where he'd set up his goddamn tent. "Indoors. I won't judge, gives us both privacy." I know what you're bound to say, ask, or warn me. He's a shap-shifting witch doctor that you literally found in the woods and just said yeah sure come on in, and while the latter might be right to know, whether it's his almost transparent demeanor, or the fact that he could have stabbed me the 17 times I've turned my back to him, 2 of which while I've been writing these, buries my doubts, at least for now, to discuss later. What isn't for later, is what came the following day. Isaac had done some pirate radio type stuff, surprisingly showed me how to set the cameras on swivel mode, set up the radios on a covert frequency. As the head of security, and sole member of the Kazamoth Estate Security Force, I made the executive decision to let him pay off his stay with work. Things were going smoothly, until me and Isaac were sitting in the living room. Storm was hitting hard outside, so we let the security do the work and decided to bug out for the night, turned on basic cable, and both of us were watching the end credits to the movie roll. God, that movie sucked, Isaac said, sitting back to the point where he was laying on the entirety of the couch. When I said make yourself at home, he took it literally. Why we should stop watching C-list movies on Netflix. Not a goddamn director on there that knows how to make a. Just then, a large flurry of rain hit the windows above living room walls, in between the already hard rainfall. Could pull out a camera now, we'd make the best found footage short on the damn app. I laughed, funny because, well, it was true. You might be asking, why are you telling us this? It's because things went from 0 to 60,000 as our laughter was cut off when John came walking, running into the living room. Dwight, someone's calling for help. I bolted upright, as did Isaac. What? A kid on the radio. For reference, what he's talking about is one of the motion trackers. While primarily they're around the wall, we place them periodically throughout the trail. How it works is, when one of them senses someone/thing in the area, it records the footsteps in a sort of circle, and records the sound for reference. Through the rainfall, we could hear the sounds of a child crying. Screaming help too, what we can father, no one in particular. It was at tracker number 6. The most northern tracker near the northern arch of the trail. You're not actually going up there, Isaac asked futilely as I zipped up the waterproof overcoat. If that kid's out there. Oh, come the fuck on. I zipped up the coat, 2 back trench coat-like flaps helped to shield my pant legs and back pockets. He met me face to face. You've seen what's out there, but I've seen a whole lot more. The things out there, especially in this part, will lure you. Imitate whatever. I've heard that kid's voice out there 6 times a fucking week, right outside my tent flap. You're walking into a trap. The damn kid's hat today, looked him dead in the eye before chambering around in the Winchester, clipping on the belt I had with load magazines. You may have heard something else. But my gut tells me there's a good chance he's out there. What if it's not the damn kid? What if it is? You gonna be the one to tell his moat? What do you mean? What's out there? We both noticed John by the doorway. Kid was smart, good head on his shoulders. But God, if I hadn't seen that look on his face. Pure fucking confusion. Same look I had while patrolling night 1. Isaac sighed, are you telling me this kid's lived in the haunted woods for God knows how long and he doesn't know what's out? See, Isaac. The trucker quieted down before clearing his throat. We'll tell you later, kid. I looked John dead in the eye. Your dad will tell you. Isaac, on the radio. I grabbed the small radio clip to my utility vest. Testing. Testing. A voice came through the headset. Testing. Testing. The kid's continued cries for help sent a shiver down my spine. Looking out onto the rainy, pitch-black night, sitting on that ATV, rifle and sling, the only light being from the damn glorified moped I was on. That made the pit in my stomach grow. But then it sank. Maybe it was knowing there was a kid out here, maybe it was, as I say, the .308 strapped to my back. Maybe it was knowing I was half a mile driving down a dirty path, the ATV half battling the dirty and mud for supremacy. My mind needed to be a shield right now, it needed to be forged out of solid iron. The giggling in the forest, and the flashing shadows didn't help. Dwight. Dwight, come in, Isaac's voice bellowed from the radio. Dangerously, I pried my left hand from the handlebars, having been gripping it. Am here, Isaac, nearing the bend now. Dwight. The kid. GGO0Ni21E. I still don't know, even after inspecting it, if it was water, mud, or something else that made the radio go dead. But before I knew it, my hand was right back on the handlebar, as the front tires came to a halt, nearly knocking me off the front. The fuck? I asked. ATV was still on. I tried to reverse. The back tires tried, the front tires did, but stopped. They were snagged on something. I looked. And dreadfully overtook me. A line of barbed wire stretched across the muddle path, and both front tires were completely snagged, and after trying to reverse, now tangled in it. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. 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 I tried to reverse to no avail. I gazed at the barbed wire, trying to see how long it was, where was the end. The end led off the road. And I saw it was tied against 2 opposing trees. Fuck. I was goddamn set up. I should have listened to Isaac, I should have listened to the feeling in my gut, underneath all that sense of bravery and child rescue shit. I unstrapped the rifle, and sat half-mount on the ATV. And listened, and through the rain, God, it still sends a shiver up my spine. The giggling. The voices, you know what they say, inhuman. You don't know, until you know, until you've heard. A low pitch, too low to be human. Whispering, laughing. I wipe rain out of my eyes, trying to get a good look. And I see yellow ahead. Yellow and red. It's the kid, is it? It looks like him, the back of a coach, the red pant leg, just barely out of the range of my ATV's lights. Danny! I yelled, top of my lungs, trying to get the kid's attention. And then meters above what the child's height should be, I see a pair of eyes, in a color I can't even describe, looking back. The kid, no, the decoy disappeared, and I was left, with the voices growing, and the eyes gazing. Motherfucker! I yelled at it, and fired off a shot, between the eyes. The HP round went soaring through the air, as dark as oil. You could see the hot round go soaring, and finally hit it as it disappeared into the pitch black between its eyes. It moved, like something that just got punted with a rock, but it didn't move, more so shifted back after a light shove. It continued to look. I worked the bolt, the casing falling out and hissing in the cold rain, and fired again. The shot went flying, but again, whatever it was, maybe its flesh was too thick, maybe I didn't have time to think, because the storm finally decided to crack lightning near us. God, I wish it hadn't. Because I got a good look at what I was shooting at, something no man, woman, child, fucking anyone was meant to see. Turns out I was correct, Abu. My surveillance when I said the flesh looked bloated. The nails dark from broken vessels. The black rings. The milky white eyes with dilated pupils. I don't remember much else from the one I shot at. I was too fixated on the dozens behind it. I've been deployed, I've wore high-tech body armor and carried an M4, I know this setup. The kind meant to stop a convoy, it's meant for a target, it's a fucking ambush. I don't care if you call me a wuss security guard, I don't care if you think I'm a coward. I grabbed the ATV keys, and I fucking ran, I booked it. Unholstered my pistol and I made Usain fucking Bolt look out of shape. The sounds, fuck, the sounds. I could tell they were around. Thankfully I knew the path, I knew where I was going. But they were following me, toying, the snapping branches to my right, the low pitch, deep giggles that sounded like they were right next to my face. I had to run, I was in freefall, out in the open, exposed. Fuck, why didn't I listen to them? The figure dead in front of me, it jumped out, trying to surprise me, just 5 meters ahead. No time for an accurate rifle shot. No time to even unsling it. Primal instinct took over, flight couldn't get through, so fight did, and I laid what I counted now, 9 rounds, into the thing. It was smaller than the ones back there, much smaller after it jolted from the majority of a 9mm cartridge. I threw my shoulder into it, and pushed past it. The way the skin looked made you underestimate the density. My shoulder ached, felt like I just tried to ram a fucking tree, but whether it was my shove, or all the rounds, it stumbled off the path. And I kept running, half wobbling as I hadn't caught my footing. I tried to round the bend. But failed, I fucking failed, tripped and fell over a goddamn branch that had fallen from the rain. I tried to brace, grab my rifle, but just fell on top of it. A round shot out and hit a tree to my left, causing bark to explode off its surface. My brain was yelling at me. Funny what adrenaline and the human flight mode can do when working together. I blinked, mud blinded me, my muscles and lungs started to ache as I stopped. I needed to get moving, but the shit in my vision stung. I blinked, light was coming from somewhere, but I didn't know where. I tried to blink, my right eye free. And I saw him. The man from before, the Native American. Looked just like before. Looking at me, blankly, between 2 trees. I grunted, I didn't hear the things as loudly as before, but I had to get going. Rain aided me as I finally cleared my eyes somewhat, and looked at him again. He was gone. But I saw through where he stood, and saw the compound walls, the gate in the distance. I made a deadbolt, a run for your fucking life. I clicked the remote on my belt, but it refused to work, the gate refused to open. I tried the vest radio and screamed, "Open it. Isaac. Open the fucking gate." I don't know if I knew it was more than likely broken, I didn't fucking care. I was nearing it, 50 meters, 35 meters. I could still hear something chasing me, surprised I even kept a hold to my guns as I ran. Then, the gate started to open. Isaac stood there and fired something I found out to be a flare gun. The gate stopped after it opened 3 feet, and I dove in, face eating a dirt-gravel mixture. I once again picked myself up as I heard Isaac say something along the lines of "Holy shit. What is THA?" Barely had time to listen. I pointed from the box mounted to the inside of the wall. Hib delicierush, I tried to talk, half spitting out dirt. What? Stop speaking pig Latin. Hit the fucking electric. Isaac caught on. He pulled open the box and pulled the switch. Where the wall segments met, there were pikes and bars connecting the tops of them, allowing us to wrap the barbed wire around. They sprang to life as electricity surged and zapped out. We didn't care to see if it amounted to anything. Hauled my ass inside with the redneck, and collapsed against the side counter as my lungs felt like they were melting. Dwight? John came down the stairs. What happened? All the running must have torn up my throat as I spat some blood into the kitchen sink, turning on the faucet and washing it down. I shook my head, brain was pounding, legs hurt. Isaac set the smoking flare gun on the counter as he went to the fridge, and cracked open an energy drink. He just saw some ghouls, Johnny. I tried to shake away the wear and tear my body had, John. Wiping my face, walking out of the kitchen, and towards the stairs of the house leading up and around the living room. Go to your room. For once, he listened and nodded. Dad gonna tell me about what's outside? No, I shook my head, he's gonna tell all of us. Isaac had to stop me from almost literally kicking open Theodora's door. My arms were too tired and primal instinct again almost took over. I came into Theodora's office, muddy, wet, and it showed as he was more concerned with me stepping onto the carpet in front of his desk. Jesus, Dwight. Care about a man's things for ONC and WHO's that? He asked, pointing to Isaac. I realize I forgot to tell him about our new friend. Isaac chimed, you owe Isaac, sir, Isaac. Who let you in, Dwight? Well, I mean, we were, but you know. Rain, storm, a lost child, you never come out of this office apparently. Isaac scratched the back of his head as he tried to come to my defense. Jesus, Nolan, I thought I paid you too. I slammed a hand down on the paperwork in front of him, leaning over the desk at him. Listen here. Dwight, those were for. Shut up, I think I half spit the forest floor into his face. He got the message and quieted down. I just literally ran my ass up through a forest trying to save a missing kid. Turns out the kid wasn't there at all. Just some, whatever the fuck things you never told me about, and still refused to. Isaac sniffed the air and looked at me. Jesus, did you piss yourself? The look I gave back must have changed his mind. Shit, yeah, sorry. I cannot protect you, your son, your land, or this motherfucking house. When all I'm given to go off of is a deer-stunning rifle, a pistol, and a whole lot of excuse bullshit. Dwight, I really don't. Oh yes you do. You didn't spend millions building a house here and not know about what lurks right under your nose. Come clean, or we're gonna take a walk in the park with whatever's out there, and you can ask where the fuck Danny went. Danny? He didn't seem surprised entirely, more so caught off guard. Someone who seems to have gone missing in your woods. A missing kid? Yeep, Isaac shook his head. Look, Dwight, I think this guy's probably hiding some sketchy shit in his closet. I bet you $5 Danny's underneath the house. Alright, just. Theodore took his glasses off, rubbing his temples. Now sadly, I've got no more time. Writing all of this down, the entire shit show it was, took a lot of time. When I get back, I'll fill you in on what us three talked about, but trust me. It's the reason after cleanup from the storm. We got funded several $1,000s to up security, and why we're driving into town tomorrow. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. I will be back as soon as I can, hopefully sooner than last time, and tell you what we found and learned.